Hey everyone, happy Thursday. Welcome back to another video. I know I usually don't post this often, but I do have some content I want to share. This video ahead of time is actually recommended by one of my YouTube subscribers here. So Jason, I appreciate the idea, and I also appreciate the items that you provided to do such a thing with. So what we're going to do today, and I hope you guys have seen my video where I cracked a bunch of slabs from PSA 10 or PSA, from BGS, from CSG, SGC. These were all gem mint cards within those respective companies' guidelines. And we cracked them and sent them to HGA to see what happened. And they actually turned out pretty surprisingly accurate as well, or I would say consistent, better than accurate. So now he thought, hey, why don't we do the opposite? Let's crack some HGA cards and send them off to PSA and BGS and kind of see where it goes. Fair, let's do this. So we're going to take a look. He provided these cards that I'm going to share with you guys today, and then we're going to go through the whole process to see A, how they look, and B, where we're going to end up sending them. First card, 2009-2010 Upper Deck First Edition Steph Curry Silver Rookie. This one got a gem mint from HGA. It is 9.5 all around plus a 10 for surface. So a true gem if it came back Beckett grades like this, but we shall see. Another card, 2016-17, I believe. Optic, which is the first year. This is a hollow silver, so Steph Curry as well. This also got a gem mint, but if you look at the subgrades, it did get a 9 for corners, 9 for edges, and it did get 9.5 for surface and a 10 for centering. This one will be interesting. Third card, Mr. Playoffs right now still, so one more game there in the finals to play Golden State. Jason Tatum, Optic Shock Rookie. This one got an elusive, if you haven't seen one already. Here's an HGA 10. This is pristine in their standards. So we're going to find out if this card is also going to get a BGS 10. Only subgrade that got not a perfect was basically a 9.5 for corners. Everything else is a 10. And the last card here is a 2003-2004 Upper Deck MVP LeBron James rookie card. This one, as you can see, also got a 10. The only grade or subgrade that it got 9.5 on was edges. So we're going to look at these in depth together. And then after I check out the 3 criteria that I can before I crack the case, you guys are going to kind of see what I look at when I'm inspecting my own cards before I send them off. So hope you guys enjoy this. Click subscribe, message me, unsubscribe if you hate this video, thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever you guys want to do. So let's get to work. Okay guys, so now you're going to see kind of how I look at cards. Typically they're not in slabs already, but we have the treat here, so we're going to take a look at this. So I use a microscope just to kind of have, well, you know, for me it's easier in my eyes. I used to use a jeweler's loupe, which is perfectly fine, it works just as well. But if you look at hundreds of cards, it does start to eat at your soul and drain your eyes. So here we go. So put it under here. This is the Steph Curry rookie, and the first thing I'm going to do is actually focus this bad boy. So once we get it clear on the screen, there we go, you'll be able to see some things. So going to go to the side. This one is, the corners got a 9.5, so we're going to look at that first one, and it looks pretty clean. I don't know if you guys can see it, probably. We're going to go along the edges, and you can see the edges are actually fairly clean for the most part. Got a 9.5, a little bit of whitening and not completely smooth, which is okay. You see a little bit of white there. If you cannot see, it's right in the middle of the screen of the microscope, and to make you see it better, it shows up black. There you go. So you see that? We're going to keep going back to normal mode. Inspect it all the way through, and you'll see that this corner, for me, I think the corner has wear, and for me to verify, typically I'll just go into negative mode, and once that little blue thing goes away, I can see that there's a black corner there. So that tells me that the corner itself is not perfect, which is okay. That's why it probably got a 9.5 for corners. Honestly, I think PSA would give that a 9 corners, just because whenever you can see white, it typically to me, it means paper loss, especially on a colored border. So we're going to keep going. And you'll see right along the edges it's the same. It's not bad, it's definitely not clean, but that is okay. That's probably why I got 9.5 for edges. And then we're going to loop it around to the other side. I'm just going to go to this corner here. So you see how the corner here is nice and clean and crisp. It's just kind of overcut the edge a little bit. So for me though, since the color kind of blends in a little bit, I will shift it back to the negative mode. I don't see anything wrong with this particular corner. A little fraying you see, and that's just needs a little bit of edge cleanup, but for the most part that corner looks good. And I'll go into the final corner. The edge right there actually looks pretty good. And right there, as you guys can see, there's also another white on this corner. So for me, HGA did give this a gem at 9.5, but looking at this, knowing how strict PSA is on corners, not centering, they're awful on centering, but when it comes to corners, this card I feel would get a PSA 9 just based on corners alone, even with the centering being pretty good. And as you guys can see from the image before too, you guys probably saw the edge, so that's what makes me think it'd be a PSA 9, but we will find out. I don't even need to look at the back because of that. So if the front was perfect, I'd look at the back. Second card, this is the Hollow Curry. I got a 9.5. So optic, obviously in chrome cards and prism cards, usually you'd think the front is great just because of the metal front plates, but that's not always the case. But we're going to look at this one. As you can see, the first corner looks good. You'll see a little fraying on the edges. That's typically normal just from the way it's cut. Just needs to be cleaned up a little bit. But this did get 9 for corners and 9 for edges. So we're going to keep going to find out where the 9 edge is. Probably on the back. Right there, you guys can see all the white. So that's from, and you can see it's on the card because of that. So all the blackening, so you see the surface right there. And also the edge wear, that's where your 9 is coming from right there. It did get a 9.5 for surface, so once I crack this out, we'll be able to kind of inspect that a little bit further. But we'll keep looking. There's a little edge wear right there as well. And you can tell from the indentations, it's not so much that, oh, it looks clean. You can see right in the middle right here where it just kind of indents and it reflects the light differently. So for me, like I said, I go back to the negative feed just to see, and you'll see there's darkening. That confirms my suspicion, at least to me. I don't really know how Beckett and them look at these things, but I'll keep going through. There's a corner, and we'll pull that back corner here. And that corner, like I think it looks a little sus because of it, and you can see there's a little crack in the middle as well. It's a little crack right there. That counts as edge wear to me. And also the little bit of a fraying. And so far I'd say it's actually kind of accurate with what SGC's, or not SGC, sorry, HGA has assessed in terms of just corners and edges. We're going to flip it to the back though. So you guys wonder why the back's a big deal. I mean, some of you probably do, some of you don't. So the back, when you look at it, looks all good. Then I flip it over here, and you'll be able to see all the fraying everywhere. So you see that's a soft corner. You can see there's a lot of chipping on the edges in the back. All over there. Other corner here. Looks okay. That one actually looks good. I'm not even bother with the rest of the edges over here because I know they're not going to be perfect. That corner, a little bit, but it actually looks pretty clean. But you can see the edge over here, it's just rough all the way around. Same thing, I think there's probably a good chance of a PSA 9. However, it could be a PSA 10 as well. I don't see enough, at least from the corners and edges, unlike the first Curry, to be any different. Now, next card we look at is the Tatum. Let me just open that up real quick. There we go. Now look at that 10 pristine. Here we go. So the only thing that got a 9.5 is the corner. So we'll check it out. That corner obviously very, very clean. I'm gonna put this back into normal mode real quick. Super clean corner over there. Edges look good so far from the front. Like I said, these cards is really on the back where you'll find a lot of the damage. That corner right there looks pretty good as well. And just to double check, that looks pretty good. All right, continue down the edges, nice and smooth. You can see there's not like paper fraying from like the curry we just looked at least not on the front. So we're gonna flip this over here, this corner right here. Now, is that sharp or is that dull? To me, it looks sharp because there's orange on the back, or orange when I flip this over instead of black. When in doubt, go to negative mode. All right. Edges look clean. And I'm trying to speed it up so it's not a super long video, but I've been looking at cards for so long that I can actually skim through pretty decent now. All right, so we're gonna flip it to the back side and see. So that right there, that corner looks good too. A little bit of a fraying, that might be why you got the 9.5, but for the most part, it's pretty clean. That corner as well. I like the patterns, it makes it look like that, but as you can see, on the patterns, they're mostly black. That one right there is slightly not as black, so that tells me, at least in my opinion, that could be a little bit of a corner bend, which is not detrimental. That's probably why I did get a 9.5 in corner. Keep going here. Edges are pretty clean though, really clean actually on this one. And there's another corner ding you can see. So this one is probably accurate as well. Does it have a chance at a BGS 10? Maybe. We're going to take a look deeper in that after I crack it. And the last card here is the LeBron. I'll take it out of the case first there. Okay, LeBron. Here we go. This one got a 10 as well. The 9.5's on the edges. So we're going to look at the corner right there, nice and clean. Edges, as you can see, there's a little bit of fraying, but typically that could be cleaned up. That right there cannot. So you see the 3 black dots over there are the whitening. And if you can't, like I said, when you're in doubt, just like I said, I flip it over and you see how black it is compared to everything else. It's a solid black line. That is not part of the pattern. That is edge wear, paper loss, in my opinion. Same with right above the middle stripe on the ball right there, or right next to it. That's also edge wear. And we keep going. You can see that corner is actually pretty good too. So corners are really good, especially on a paper card with gloss. Edge. Keep going. Now, paper fray doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad edge. You're really looking for the solidity of where the lines meet for the card. And this one, I would say the edges are pretty clean outside of what you guys saw on the top of this card just now. Keep going. This corner. Now, this corner, to me, I think it's not super sharp. And you can see it's a little bit off on the color as well, right there, how it's lighter than the black. I would say that's a soft corner for me, my standards, because this is on the front of the card. Edges, you can see not super perfect, which is okay, but rather clean for the most part. This card, I don't think has a chance for a BGS 10. I do think it has a chance for a PSA 10 though. And then centering, like I said, that's probably the easiest thing to notice on a card. But this is the back, as you can see too. At least I can see just because I'm right here. That corner is a little bit dinged. Edges are okay on the back side. That is also a little bit of a soft corner. Keep flipping. I'm not going to keep doing the edges. We're just going to go through the corners. And there you go. There's a sharp corner. You can see the difference. There's just no discoloration. There's a little fraying paper right here, but that's, like I said, you can take that out. It's not an issue. And that corner right there, because you can see the lines. It's not super straight. It is a little bit curvy. Well, not curvy. It just kind of hits at an angle. So to me, this is what I look at carts. So I would say this has a chance for a PSA 10, but BGS 10 I don't think is going to happen. So that is my review in terms of just how I inspect cards. Usually, like I said, they're out of the case. This is in the slab, but next we're going to crack them. So hang tight. Alright guys, so here we go. This is the next piece of the puzzle, and yes, you see my painted nails. I always will let my daughter do it, so if you guys don't like it, I apologize, but not really. Anyways, neither here nor there. This next part of this video is really going to be cracking the cases. So HGA, some slabs have been easier than others, but for the most part they're kind of weird. Some of them haven't really cracked for me. They just kind of peel slowly, so it takes me forever. But hopefully these just kind of crack and I can break it open. So let's give it a shot. We're going to do the curry first. So you guys can see as far as how this is done. This one cracks right open, so that's good. The old cases had a lot of them ended up just slowly shattering, and not shattering, but slowly just kind of peeling, like I said. So this one going to be a little bit different. I'll clean this off after. Or actually a little bit at least now. So hopefully this will just pry right open pretty easily. Flathead. I need to crack it a little bit more, but we shall see. There we go. Slides right in. And usually I don't have a phone stand in front of me, so this is a little bit, but not really super, a little bit trickier. So we're just going to slowly crack it by going down the side and twisting, so we don't damage the card and we don't just split the case. Now, the easiest slabs to crack are SGC. SGC cases typically will just pry right open. Don't even need to really do a whole lot. So this one slides open nice and easy. Avoid the corner so that you don't damage the card, obviously. First time I'm doing this on video, so avoid the card at all costs. I'm sorry, James, if I mess up your stuff. I won't. I've done this a few times. I always hold the tip closer so that now you don't just stab it. So there you go. Pries right open. Steph Curry. Keep that. Immediately grab a penny sleeve. I don't use gloves because gloves you can tend to catch some of the surface. So I'm going to go here, just flip it over. Nice and easy. Don't touch it. I'll put this in here first before we do anything else. So I like to use these penny sleeves because there's a tab on it. Not because it's easy to pull out. It's because when you insert them, you're not really going to catch the corners. It just slides right in. Unlike some penny sleeves that don't, you end up like jabbing it back and forth. Destroys the edges. So put this away into a card saver. And we'll put this aside. We'll kind of go into it later a little bit more. Clean this up a little bit. One slab down. Few to go. So for those of you that have not cracked a slab before, you just kind of saw how we do it. And like I said, all the plastic chunks here, I'm going to grab something and clean it up real quick. Yes, due diligence with every single slab, because these things go everywhere. And the last thing I want is a piece of plastic that scratches anything that I have that's of value. So, alright, first one done. We're going to crack the next one. Let's save the LeBron and Tatum for last. Here we go, Steph Curry. Same process here. So all I do is cut the two corners and I work my way around. So same thing here, or goggles if you must, but there we go. Over right there. This side. I'm gonna go in a little bit more. There we go. Crack, crack. Move this stuff off real quick. A couple of the plastic chunks. And if you have a shop vac, I would recommend you use that afterwards. So we're gonna just clean as we go. Clean workstation is the best. All right, so cleaned up, and here we go. We're gonna pry open the second one here. There it is. So hold it nice and close to the edge so you don't like jam your screwdriver all the way in, and just start twisting. Once you get into that piece, it's pretty easy. Thank you, HGA, for switching it back up. Those last cases you guys had were just a nightmare. And no need to rush, just take your time. It's more important to be careful than anything else. And don't get impatient. I don't pry it, like, I don't try to, I guess, pull it apart until it's all the way loose. Because last thing you want is to just like destroy anything. So here we go. On the back side to finish this one up. There we go. And if it gets stuck somewhere, just like I said, do your due diligence and be patient so you can get the card out. So there we go. Nice and clean. And penny sleeve. Let's do that. There we go. A penny sleeve just goes right in there so it doesn't catch the edge. Cool. Card saver. Then clean up the card. Here's the label. Save this. Repeat. So same thing. Clean it up so you don't get plastic pieces everywhere on your work area. Sorry, pop reports. All right. So now we're gonna go with let's go with the Tatum first, just because LeBron's an old man. Here we go. Can't believe you want me to do this, brother, but we're gonna do this. Here we go. So same, I cut it at an angle. At an angle. All right, so all the cuts necessary. At least I think so, in my opinion. Let me clean this up. I know this video is extra long, but it's better to see the whole process than just the highlights, right? Gotta see my struggles. Pain is real, it's how we grow. That. Hit the wire. Alright, so back to the card. And we're gonna just work our way around once again. So that was good. Okay, we'll do this side. Right there. There we go. Sorry if I'm breathing hard. And there's no better music than the smooth jazz that I put in the background while I'm cracking these cases. This one just pried right open. Perfect. Okay. That's the dream scenario. So careful when you take it out as well. This over here. Good. Immediately, let's put this in a penny sleeve. And we're going to clean these up again, once again, because I will inspect them again. I know we did it just because, at least we did it on the microscope in the slab, but I'll show you guys kind of what it looks like outside of the slab afterwards. Runaway screwdriver, here we go. So Tatum in the card saver. This next label, there's the 10. bit of a cleanup. Not as messy as the last couple. And yes, I have a gaming desk for this because it comes with a nice pad that is very similar to the pad I use when I'm inspecting cards. It avoids me scratching anything, and I can see any kind of debris that's laying on it. So we're gonna go last one here, LeBron. Crack him out. Sorry, I just got a couple more pieces here. Cleaning up. All right, fourth one. Same thing, and this works the same for pretty much every slab. Cut at an angle. Really should wear safety goggles. Another angle right there. Alright, that's probably good enough for that. And I will shop vac everything later. Get this out of the way. Alright, and the screwdriver. I'll go open this side first, there's an opening already. Okay, almost done. Grab it in the last corner and pops right open. So here we go. LeBron. Grab my sleeve. Let's get this out of here. There we go. And down there. Here we go. And be careful when you're putting in the penny sleeve to make sure it slides right in. Perfect. And card savers. So that's this segment. Now on to the actual inspection. So hang tight, we're going to do that here in a minute. Alright guys, so we're going to move into the raw card inspection that I typically do. Now you guys saw that I cracked the cards out of the cases on HGA, and now we're going to do a raw inspection. So I use a nice little pad that you know, is soft and everything like that, and I'll put the cards on so that way I can slide it around the base of the microscope without worrying about any kind of scratches or damages that's happening. Hopefully none. So simply put it on here and I can rotate it each and every single way that I want. So you can see when it's out of the case, it's just a lot cleaner. So I'm going to focus it just a hair more. And I did the opposite, I like totally unfocused it. So I try to turn it to where I can see pixels. There you go. And I also increase at this point the zoom so that I can just see it a little bit better. So here's the Curry card, and you can see the corner there. Like I said, you can see things a lot better than before, or at least I can. You're still probably pretty far away from the screen. But we'll go through again, and this is how I can check surface as well. Like you guys can see that dot, I think. If you can't, give me a second here. There we go. You'll see there's a little black dot right there that travels. To me, that's surface damage. Not really damage, that's a terrible word. It's just a print defect, probably more than anything else. You'll see a little white right there. That could just be dust. So if I suspect that at all, grab a clean microfiber towel or a small microfiber thing and just do a simple, and you can see that's not coming off, so that means it's actually on the card. Now I don't have to worry about that piece. I'm going to keep going, and you can see there's the edge where we noted the first time around. It's still there, and you'll see a little bit more surface damage. There's one right there, piece. Corner's a little dinged. So all of it's pretty much the same. I don't have to look at it much further because of the fact the surface damage is still there. That prevents this from probably getting, like I said, a PSA. I think this is a PSA 9. I could be wrong, we'll find out. But I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what I look at for surface outside of that, but just looking at this, I can tell a little bit that there's surface issues. So I'm going to take the card. I will, like I said, I'm not going to use gloves because I'm just not a fan personally of using gloves. It kind of hinders my abilities here. So just use a simple black light. Same ones you can check for your cat urine and go through. Like I said, naked eye, this thing is super clean, but you know that the grading companies will use magnifying. They say 10x. I think they probably honestly go a little bit higher, but when you look at it with the naked eye, it is a super clean card on the surface. When you blow it obviously to pixelated status, you're going to see something different, but overall eye appeal still could be a PSA 10, but with the edge, like I said, that I saw and a couple of the surface issues and just a little bit on the it's very minor on the corners, it might be a 9. We'll find out. So this one's clean. I'm going to put that back before we go on to the next card. Nice and safe. Put that here so you guys can see that. There's Steph Curry. This episode is brought to you by Kurt's Card Care. Just kidding. I actually just bought this kit. I was curious to see what it's about. So I've been cleaning my own cards for a long time, and I've been using different products. I experimented a lot on cards that are not really of value until I got good at it, and then I started doing my own thing. So it looks like someone has been creating this kit a long time ago that I just never found, but it smells the same as the product I use, which is basically car wax, but I don't think this is car wax. He says everything's handmade, so definitely believe him. We're going to give it a shot if I see any surface issues here with this curry that we're going to do next, which is the optic. So I'm going to put it right there. We're going to go through, and like I said, typically I don't have anything in front of me like a camera or a microphone, but here we are. So I'm going to look. As you can see, the edges, it's fraying a little bit. I'm going to try and clean that up, see if you guys can see the difference here. And right there, I can't do anything about that. That's surface damage, and that is also edge paper loss, I feel. It could also just be part of that card. Could be the design. But we shall find out. Alright. And is there anything crazy to look for? Nothing, just some small details. Card's pretty clean for the most part, like I said. I still do think it's a PSA 9, but it still could be a 10. I am banking on it being a 9. So now we're going to go to the surface inspection on this card. Pick it up. Go through. Black lights on these chrome cards will usually just pick up scratches, indents, any kind of foil peel and stuff like that. This only has a little bit right there, but that's probably just dust I can wipe off. No scratches that I can tell from here. And you can use a different light too. My house has a bunch of lights here. So mostly clean. I'll clean up the surface a little bit on the top. Looks pretty good. Okay, so this curry still, like I said, it's probably going to be pretty good. And I'm going to put this away. Okay, curry. Next is the Tatum. We're going to go there. Pull it out here. Okay, put it right on there. Alright, here we go. So Tatum. Clean. Like this one I felt was pretty clean for the most part. This one I think has a chance at a BGS 10. I'm pretty sure it won't black label. But we might get a BGS 10 out of this one, so We'll find out. Centering actually looks pretty good. I have a centering tool that I use, but I'm not going to whip it out today just because there's just so much crap on my workstation right now. But typically I'll either use that or I'll actually just use a tape measure and measure the edges where the borders lie and stuff to make sure that it's pretty close. But this one, from just looking at it with my eyes, centering's pretty good. It's not bad whatsoever. So surface, same thing. Maybe a little bit of a dot on top of the ball, the Tatum ball. I'll show you guys. Let me take this off so that I don't drop it. That'd be bad, right? So right above the ball, I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but there's a little bit of a speck. It might just be dust, so I'm just going to do a quick and see if it's still there. And it is gone, so that's just a piece of dust or debris. There we go. So let's leave this one up. And the last one is the LeBron. And we're going to look at this one. Protect MVP. Here we go. Alright, so the LeBron. Reason why it's black, like I said, I have it in negative because for me, at least in negative mode, I can see everything better than when I don't have it in negative mode. So, isn't that crazy? You can see literally everything. Just, your cards are made of tiny little circles. Little card. We'll try and clean that up a little bit if possible. And pretty good. All right, so same thing. Now we're gonna check the surface on the LeBron. I'm gonna take it off this pad, and I'm just gonna hold it. And we're gonna look. And it's pretty clean, I will tell you. And I'm using another light just to see. Now the thing with paper cards is that what you got on there is what you got. There might be a small line over there. It's very small, but that might come out with a little bit of moisture and towel. So like I said, on paper cards and gloss cards, you don't want to use any type of product. At least I don't. I'm not going to try Kurt's stuff on this. But a little bit of hot breath, and you want to be quick with it. And you don't want to apply any pressure to it whatsoever. And I'll use one that I use. These are for LCD screens. So I use these two typically because they're gentle. But to get the lint off, I'll use microfiber. And for the other things, I'll use this. So, alright, here we go. LeBron. Oh, hey cat, what's up? The cat running around. So, looks better. Okay. So this one, like I said, I don't think it will get a BGS 10. It will very likely be a BGS 9.5, but we will find out as well. Centering looks good on it. Might be a little narrow one side. What I mean by that is the card is, the print on it itself is somewhat tilted at an angle. That's what it looks like. So we'll find out how they grade something like that. But I'm going to put this back. And put that in. Card looks good for the most part. And that is it. There was nothing here that really needed repair or cleanup. So 4 cards. Thanks again, James, for the idea. We're going to do this. We're going to send this one off. And when they come back, you guys are going to see the results. So appreciate it once again, Kurt. I appreciate the stuff. I'm definitely going to use it a little bit more. I'll probably do a video on it once I get a little bit better understanding of how to use your product as opposed to what I've been using. And then I hope you guys enjoy and have a good night. Okay, so you guys remember how fuzzy the Curry card is, and I'm going to try using Kurt's edging and corner tool to see if we can kind of clean some of these things up. So very simple, and I've been practicing already, so don't worry. As you guys remember, there's a lot of little fraying pieces all over the place on this particular card, so all you do is take this particular tool very gently, just go with the lines, no pressure, because the last thing you want to do is damage the card. Little to no pressure, I should say. And if you guys watch his channel, actually, I'm not that brave yet. I'm not going to try and like uncrimp corners or anything like that. But right now, I had a lot of practice just getting edges a little bit cleaner. So we're going to do that. And we're going to look at this thing under the scope again. But hopefully it cleans up a lot of the fraying pieces. They're not fraying. That's just a bad thing to say. A lot of these cards are just cut by the machines that aren't doing its job, I should say. So simply just go all the way around the card slowly. And it's easier on like optic prism-ish cards because of the material that the card's made of. Typically it's like, you know, aluminum piece. I think it's aluminum at least, and then it's followed by cardboard layers. So very lightly just go across. No pressure. Hopefully we can clean up some of the pieces, like I said. So we're going to look at that again, and we're going to polish this up too. So I'll put this over here. There's my light. Like I said, I typically don't have all these things in front of me. So, penny sleeve. One more thing, I'm just going to wipe this print off real quick. Small print. Alright, so there we go. We're going to take a look at the Curry. Move it up. You guys go. You guys get the bird's eye view. So, the corner that was pretty frayed before, you see a little piece it's gone. Let's see if I can focus a little bit better for you guys. There we go, pixels. So this is still in negative mode. Here, let's do this. Probably easier. Normal. Alright, so it looks a lot cleaner here. Let me see if I can do this now. Maybe better. There we go. Alright. So cleaner edges. Clean up the fraying pieces once again a little bit better. All the way around. So it looks good. This looks a lot cleaner. So next thing I'm going to do, turn this off. Now I think I'm done with the microscope for the day. But put this aside. So I just have a little bit more room. Alright, so I'm going to use some of Kurt's polish here, just to clean up the card. I will not spray it directly on the card, because that's just irresponsible of me. Spray a little bit on a microfiber towel, at least that's what I'm going to do. Use a penny sleeve to hold the card, that's just me. I'm just going to lightly rub it in with one. Get it nice and shiny. Okay. And then I'm going to clean it off with a clean LCD towel. This one's used for LCD screens, so just very lightly let it, and you can feel the difference. It starts kind of sliding by itself. The polish itself looks really good, or smells decent as well. I've been using like turtle wax. I'm not going to lie, the turtle wax spray for my stuff, so this is nice that it's a little bit different. It does work well regardless, the turtle wax spray. Turtle wax ice, that's the one. Alright, so Curry, I'm going to pick this card up here. You guys kind of see it. See? Nice and beautiful all the way around. Kurt's Card Care, check it out. He's got a channel. He does a ton of stuff. He uncrimps corners and all that good stuff. I'm not there yet. So for me, just playing with edges and polishing the card with his products, like I said, it's just good to kind of diversify my tool set. But put the Curry back, and I believe that's it. So stay tuned, because we're going to sub these over to both BGS and PSA and see how these cards turn out. So quick recap. We got the Curry Optic, we got the Optic Tatum, the LeBron Rookie, and the Curry First Edition. I hope you guys enjoyed this rather long video, but I hope it was also a little bit educational. Feel free to DM me with questions or anything like that. But I appreciate all your guys' time, and have a wonderful evening. And once again, Kurt's Card Care. YouTube them.